freaking real talk today because I have been in it. Now, I know that I speak of identity, I coach on identity, I mentor women founders, I do all that, right? And then when it comes to myself, holy crap, this work will always smack you across the face. And I'm telling you, if you're a coach or a mentor and you're listening to this, you'll know what I mean. It is one thing to be able to pick out other people's patterns and help and guide them into exactly with pinpoint precision. This is how we get to where you are going, your personalized roadmap. But this doesn't make it easy when you are going through your own up level, when larger life, bigger business, everything is calling you, right? You can know this stuff, but it can still feel uncomfortable. Now, over the last few weeks, I have gone through and made some really big decisions. I'm running my first 3-day event. We had my first live event sell out. We have Academy is nearly at capacity. I've just booked another couple of one-on-one clients. So things are rolling and rolling and rolling. I want to take this on a national tour next year. So what's happened over the last couple of weeks, as we grow and expand, we must bring our identity with us. And what happens is we need to recalibrate to the level of our goals. We need to recalibrate our beliefs to the level of our goals. Our nervous system doesn't calibrate to our goals, calibrates to the level of our identity. So when we are wanting more, we need to face these uncomfortable feelings of, wow, 1, what do I need to let go of? 2, can I really do what I say I'm going to do? 3, what is the world and this new identity going to be asking of me when I actually reach that? So that we don't self-sabotage, attach to limiting beliefs, all these things that we say we do, we know we're doing them, but this is what the nervous system wants to do so that you don't actually press go. You don't have enough money. What if it doesn't work? You failed last time. All these things that come in, and put in whatever your quote that you say to yourself is. I can guarantee you with my hand on my heart, we can sit here and make all the freaking reasons and excuses in the world, but it is your nervous system absolutely telling you a story to keep you where you're at. I was working with a client last week and she said, I used to have this massive belief in myself and I don't have that anymore. I don't know what's happened to me. I used to just be able to work and it would unfold and happen, right? All these things that we can sit and say. And I'm telling you now, they feel real. But my question was this: what? Yes, darling. Yes, you're going back to mine, aren't you? Because then Dad's going to pick you up from football. Can you come straight home, please? Good. Bye. Welcome to the Pursuit of Myself, the podcast. Here we take ownership of our healing. We rewrite the rules, we turn knowledge into wisdom, and we lead our lives with intention. I'm your host, Rayne, and it's my mission to empower you to get back into the driver's seat of your life. So I'm telling you now, the woman who got you to where you are today, she is not going to get you to where you want to go next. This is the biggest realization that I feel people don't want to wrap their head around. And what I mean by that is it's like the woman that made all the sacrifices, commitments, that hustle that's, in the marriage, or that's working through the divorce, or has the children, or has the business, right? That woman is incredible and beautiful, and we are so grateful for her. But she is not actually going to get you to where you are wanting to go. She is not going to take you to that CEO level that has time freedom, that has financial freedom, that has emotional freedom. She is not going to take you to that beautiful, deeply connected relationship that you desire, right? Because she has got you here. And when you can really start sinking into that, really sink into it, and be so proud and grateful to her for creating the life that you're in, and also let her know that she is not the one that's going to get you to where you want to go. And let me explain why. Okay. So as we grow, as we evolve, we are developing this sense of who we are and what we want. And we get so far in our life on conditionings and shoulds and responsibilities and all those other bits and pieces that we see. And then we get comfortable and your nervous system's like, yeah, it's okay here. I'm comfortable. This is familiar. Even if that familiar is toxic, it will be comfortable and it will stay there. So when we are wanting to grow, evolve, and change, we need to get uncomfortable. And this is the part. We need to get to the point where we're like, God, this is uncomfortable, right? You need a new skill set. You need new resilience. You need to be able to be comfortable with being seen more. You need to be more comfortable with speaking your mind. You need to be letting go of the shit that is not going to get you to where you want to go. And let me give you this example, because I'm going through this massively at the moment. And I spoke about this with my academy group this morning, right? So I am wanting to take my 3-day event and my 1-day event on a national tour next year. I am wanting to reach hundreds of more women. I am wanting to grow my academy to at least 50 women in the academy, supporting in the community, growing, evolving, doing the energetics, getting on that frequency, investing their money, scaling to get, like, this is my big thing, right? This is what I want. Now, the Rayne that has done all this incredible authenticity, identity work, uncovering my wounds, that has got me here to have this beautiful business, to be supporting these incredible women, to be teaching women how to grow and scale. Like, she is freaking awesome. I love her. But is the identity that I'm in now going to get me to that next level? Is this identity that I am now going to be the one that's going to be comfortable with having that $500,000 business, maybe a couple of employees, leaving my kids in Perth as I go around Australia, right? All the other things that come with it. So what I mean by, is she? No, she's not. Because the Rayne at the moment is happy. She's comfortable. She's in a beautiful relationship. She sees her kids every day. All these things that I am, I'm making good money. All these things, she's happy. So why would my nervous system want me to rock the freaking boat? Why would it want me to put myself in a situation where it's like, God, why, Rayne, why? Why do you want to do that? Just be happy, be grateful. What if you do that and life blows up? What if it doesn't work? What if the nervous system, that is your nervous system telling you to slow down and stop and be happy where you're at? Now, this is the work. And we know this, you've listened to my podcast. This is the work that we need to be doing every day, because what we do in this self-help world, which can be so freaking annoying because we spin our wheels because we're trying to name our pattern, and that's our pattern, and I'm a people pleaser, and I don't like to be seen, and I'm this, right? And then we sit there. Well, what the frick are you doing about it? I'm a people pleaser. If I was a people pleaser, I wouldn't have been able to build this business. If I was scared to be seen, I wouldn't have been able to build this business, right? So we heal certain levels. We either maybe we don't heal them. We use them as excuses and reasons and label ourselves to keep us small, or and this is the challenge, is to do the opposite. If you know that you want that big thing, you want that coaching business, let's say, and you are not showing up authentically in your social media, you know that fear, that belief of being scared to be seen, is not the identity that you need that's going to get you to where you want to go. If you want to have $500,000 business, but you are scared of managing money because you don't want staff, right? You will start making good money and then self-sabotage it all away. Your nervous system does not rise to the level of your goals. It rises to the level of your unconscious beliefs. And this is where the work is at. I was working with a client the other day, and she was saying, I used to have this huge belief in myself. I used to be so successful. And there is something really comforting about believing that your best self exists in the past, right? Because it tells us that we know that we've been there. Right? The past can't ask anything of us. We can notice that it's there, but it can't actually force us to do anything. It's just like this reason, or it's this thing that pops up in our head. And the person that we used to be doesn't have to make today's difficult decisions, right? Today's person, the past, doesn't have to risk today's failure, right? They don't have to find out whether you're still capable or not, because we just attach to the fact that this is how I used to be. So when we place our courage or our belief system or our hustle culture in the past, we actually never have to address it in the present. Now, the thing that really caught this client off guard, and I want you to listen to this, is that when we are attaching to our story, there is something that our nervous system makes us feel safe about that story, right? And you don't want to admit that. You don't want to say, oh, our nervous system feels safe in that story, But that is what's happening. When we attach to a story and we believe that that's the truth, that is what our nervous system says is true. And you will be getting something out of that story. And that is the truth. So if you're in a toxic relationship, if you got a toxic boss and you're not leaving, if you are not changing your situation, the nervous system, you will be getting something out of that story, even if it's revolting and you wouldn't choose it. When we stay in situations and use reasons and excuses to continue on the cycle that we are, there is something about that situation that makes us feel comfortable, whether it's comfortable. I was comfortable being the victim single mum. I know that my nervous system really enjoyed being there because it took me out of responsibility, took me out of feeling my guilt or shame because it kept me there. Our nervous system attaches to that story and we are getting something out of it. Usually it's just to make an excuse to stay where we are. Now, I know that can be a really hard pill to swallow, but the question is, what am I protected from when I tell myself that I used to be in a better place or that I used to be something? What are you actually protecting yourself from? Because to be fair, these stories that we tell ourselves, sometimes they're carrying genuine grief or genuine trauma or genuinely still processing things that happened because maybe life did happen. Maybe there was burnout, heartbreak, a breakdown, illness, betrayal, abandonment, loss. There's something in there that the weight of living might be keeping you anchored. So when we say something like, I used to be brave or I used to have belief, we're not actually criticizing ourselves. We're running a version of ourselves in our mind that felt like we could cope, but giving us a reason in today's world that we can't do it. So there's the distinction. Because we can have compassion for that old self, which means that if we hold compassion for the old self, we can still take action in the new self. Or we can feel like that old self was us and I need to have that old self back so that I can conquer today's present moment, right? And this is where we actually start becoming trapped in our cycle of belief systems. Now, there are so many ways that we can have different belief systems around this. We can have, different belief systems around money, around relationships, around work ethic, around parenthood. But this is where we get to start investigating what this shadow or what the shadow work is asking us of difficult situations. Because what do you get from the belief, right? What do we get from holding the belief that we can't actually do something, that we don't have enough money? The brain might be like, okay, this is the fact, but the nervous system says, I still feel comfortable in this fact. So I'm just going to make sure that we stay in this story over and over again. Because what do we get? We get to avoid risk. We get to avoid responsibility. The story allows us to avoid disappointment, avoid failure. Maybe it's telling you that you're being loyal to an old version of yourself that you want to still praise, but you've separated between who you are today and who you used to be. Because sometimes I used to be able to, or I used to be courageous is actually code for I'm afraid to discover what courage requires from me now. I'm afraid to discover what I would actually have to do and move through to get to where I want to go. So I'm just going to detach, right? And one of the biggest mistakes we make is that courage only has one form. At 20, courage may have looked like leaving a relationship. At 40, courage might look like staying. At one stage, courage might look like starting a business in your 20s, but in your 40s, starting a business has all these other strings attached. One courage is, age appropriate, and the other is also age appropriate and life appropriate to whatever you've got going on. So by attaching to old versions, we are not honoring the journey and the present moment of what we have been through to actually create the life that we're living now. And when we don't do that, we are using it as an excuse and as a reason to not take the action that's required to get to the goal that you are desiring to. Because sometimes courage is actually allowing yourself to be seen exactly where you are. If you can do that, if you can see yourself exactly as you are, where you are now, I can guarantee you will start seeing life through a different lens. So maybe for all of you listening and for me, the version of me that got me here, I was like, God, you used to be ballsy. You used to work 14-hour days. None of this that I would choose, but you can really connect back to the things we used to do. Oh, if only I had that work. But now I even have better work ethic, but I'm working smarter. Am I exactly where I want to be right now? No. Am I celebrating where I am right now? Absolutely yes. Is there a version of me that I'm stepping into to get to my new goal and to the new aspirations that are forming in my life every single day? Absolutely yes. Does that require me to let go of a past version of beliefs that I have acquired? Absolutely yes, it does. There's no other way around it. And this is where I see so many women spinning their wheels in the same patterns over and over again. They book into the courses and then they go back to their real life. They go on a 5-day retreat, then they go back to their real life. They listen to the podcast, then they go back to their real life. Without a clear identity piece in place that is going to give you the roadmap to who you need to be to get to where you want to go, you will keep spinning your wheel. And perhaps you are waiting or searching for something that actually just isn't there. Perhaps you're searching for something that is already within. Maybe you have the answer to your own stories already, but it is inquiring about what is actually not working in my life. Is my procrastination serving me? Is my self-sabotage serving me? Is my belief that I used to be more ballsy serving me? Is my sleeping in instead of getting out of bed serving me? Is my consistency and commitment to myself serving me? Now, if the answer is no, 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 and you are finding that you don't know what to do to take the action in the direction of what you're desiring, this is the piece that I really, really want you to hear. You need to decide the qualities, the values, and the beliefs of the person that already has what you are requiring, what you are wanting. How does she behave? What type of conversations does she have? How does she treat her body? How does she treat her bank account? How does she treat conflict? How does she show up on social media? How does she walk? How does she wake up every day and look at her life? What lens is she looking through? Because I can guarantee you that if you keep waking up in the morning looking through the lens of only where you are now, you are going to see reasons and excuses all day long. But if you can practice waking up in the morning and stepping into the identity of the woman that has the business, has the relationship, has the money, has the travel, has the children, has the family, has the house every day, then you will start walking, talking, looking, behaving, acting, having conversations like her, and it will happen. Now, to actually create that, I get it. This is where we are human, and not a lot of us have the skills to be able to do that. I mean, it's taken me years and years and years of study, of daily work to actually get me to be able to do that. And this is why I can pass these tools on to my clients. But that's all I can do. I can pass on the tools. You have to take that action. I can create programs. You have to take the action within those programs. But I can guarantee you one thing. When you are stepping into a room with women that are doing the thing over and over again, you constantly are upgrading your identity and practicing being the woman who already has the thing that you desire. Now, it is absolutely the be, do, have. You need to be who you need to be as if you already and do. I'm not even going to edit this out because this is no freaking ChatGPT. This is nothing. This is you and me, baby. The be, do, have. You need to be the person and act as if you already have what it is that you're wanting. That is how you get that thing. Now, unless you are taking note of yourself every day, unless you can self-regulate all the time, unless you're, journaling at the end of the day, where did your identity slip? Are you in alignment with where you're going? I get it. It is hard freaking work. But I know the women in my world that step in, they're ready for that hard work because they're ready for that next level. Now, every single thing that I do when it comes to my work is about energetic alignment and frequency to already having that thing that you desire. This is why I now do the 3-day event, because we now get to collapse time and practice showing up. Now, if there are lots of things that need to be removed, I'm not even going to say blocks. If there's layers that need to be removed, let's say you identify as a people pleaser, and you've failed at your first try at business, but you want to do this again, we need to remove that. We do that through tools. We do that through breath work. We do that through masterminds. We do that through community. We do it through accountability. And most of all, we do it by taking action, right? No one is going to do this stuff for you. And you can have, do, be anything that you want. I know this now. Who was it that famously said, but just not at the same time? Look, I actually don't really believe in balance because I feel like life changes, but I do believe in being able to move through life in flow. I do believe in being able to move through life in trust that you are moving towards your goal. But if you don't have a North Star, if you don't have a goal, it's like, what are you moving towards? So what we must do, and if you're listening and you're like, fuck, I need to actually start this identity work. Number one, get really clear on what it is that you want and how you want to feel. That is one of the hardest things that I see most women shrink when that question is asked. What do you want and how do you want to feel? Because then we start upgrading the identity to match the frequency of already having it. Will it require you to shed your bullshit stories along the way? Yes. Will it require you to shed your people pleasing, your perfectionism, all those things that we do, your good girl, your shyness along the way? Fucking oath it will. But you know what's worth it? What is worth it is you showing up for yourself over and over again, facing off with yourself, running into the fire, and then you get to taste the incredible sweetness of the beautiful magnetism and identity that's on the other side of you stepping into your life. But it will not happen if you're sitting there on your heels, hoping that it's just going to be handed to you. If you are ready to upgrade your identity, this is what I'm doing exactly for myself at the moment. I feel like this whole podcast episode's about kicking myself in the ass as well and coaching myself through this because I am leveling up. I am rising tide lifts all boats. I am taking my women with me. I'm taking anyone in my world with me. Come, if you're like, fuck this, I want to get over my divorce. I'm sick of, spinning my wheels for the last 2 years. I'm sick of listening to podcasts and only chipping away at my new life and my new identity. Come to the 3 days. We will collapse time. I will shake it out of you. That's not very nice, is it? We will work deeply together through my tools, through masterminds and community and breath work and meditation. And I can't even go deeper into the incredible stuff I have. Like, it is going to blow your mind. And imagine the trajectory of the last 6 months of the year after completing something like this. We don't have to go to Bali to do it, although that would be nice one day, maybe at the end of the year. We can do it here in Perth on the beach, 3 days. They're within school hours, ladies. There are no reasons or excuses. Come collapse time, get a couple of days off work if you need to. I will be 1000% worth it. Let's motherfucking upgrade this life to actually get to where we are wanting to go because I'm ready. I'm ready for the money. I'm ready for the success. I'm ready for the visibility. I'm ready for the travel. I'm ready to be changing hundreds and thousands of women's lives every single day of my life. Join me.